Welcome back to another episode of Comics and Sweet Tea. Hope you guys have had an incredible week. Man, it's great to be back. If you're new to the show, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right now and ring that bell like you're standing in a store with no pants on. So you can get notified when the show is coming up. Also, guys, drop a like, drop a comment. Means so much to the channel. Let's dive right into it. We got a few stories that we're going to go over today. I don't know. Maybe you're living under a rock, but that is the only way you haven't heard about this upcoming Marvel movie. Now, we had one hit in February, and there were high expectations for it as well. That was a hodgepodge Frankenstein of a movie from where they basically completely reshot it and then said, well, I don't know, and mixed and matched and come up with a good old mess. And of course, didn't perform well. I had high hopes for Brave New World. I really enjoy Anthony Mackie. I think he's incredible as I think he was incredible as Falcon, and I think he's incredible as Captain America as well. Can't wait to see what they do with his character moving forward in the MCU. I know it ought to be interesting just because of the part that he plays. He's such a strong actor. But back to what I said earlier, if you're living under a rock, that's the only way you haven't heard about Thunderbolts. The hype just is going insane on this movie as we get closer and closer, leading up to it hitting theaters. People have been screening this movie, and they're calling it possibly one of Marvel's best all time. Now let's sit back and think about that for a moment. Let's kind of digest that. Think about some of Marvel's best. The first Avengers, Civil War. For those of you joining me, hey, put your thoughts in. What were some of your favorite Marvel movies? Civil War comes to mind for me. Of course, in Infinity War and Endgame. I mean, those, and you take those three, all those are Russo brothers movies, and people are already starting to dog them out and say they're not going to be able to do it with Doomsday. But that's a whole another conversation for another time. We're talking about Thunderbolts right now. Asterisks. We all know what that means, or we think we know what it means. It all could be horseshit. What we think, a lot of people think it's going to be Avengers by the end of it. Who knows? It could. I'm sure it's leading to something. The Cricket Painter. Oof! Marvel shot their wad with Infinity War. No hope for anything coming soon. You say that, but I mean, I'm holding out hope. I really think, just looking at everything for this movie, I tell you, they're taking a different approach with this one. I think they're tapping into something. Hopefully, we're kind of going back to the drawing board and kind of tapping into the stuff that made Marvel great to begin with. You know, in those the first Avenger days, and some of those. I think they kind of peaked out around phase 3. You know, but I mean, if this one hits and it's as good as everybody's saying, and then Fantastic Four turns around and hits as well, I mean, the hype for Doomsday and and Secret Wars is going to be through the roof. But a lot of people are saying, you know, from the screenings and other stuff that this is looking like one of Marvel's best. I mean, they're lauding it as possibly one of the better ones. Let's see here. Pull up there's the crew. And we know they kind of spoiled it. We know Sentry's in the movie. We know Sentry pretty much replaces the Avengers and enter the Void. You know, the Void comes in and kind of wreaks havoc, and this is the only group that's left to deal with it. You know, there's nobody else. That leads me to wonder, well, where the hell is the Hulk? I mean, he's one of Earth's mightiest. Where's Thor at? I mean, yeah, he's probably gallivanting off on another and then somewhere else in one of the other realms. So I mean, that one can be explained away, but Hulk. I mean, how do you explain that one away? But I mean, let's kind of jump into this, and this is coming from this is coming from Comic Book Movie. Let's see if I can find this story for you guys. Hate dead air. It sucks. Anyway, let's see. And no, I'm not finding this story. But anyway, read enough. Most of this stuff that I'm telling you come directly from Comic Book News. Yeah, they're this thing is looking to be one of the greats. It's taking kind of an indie approach. They've kind of scaled things down a little bit. And I mean, that's a good thing. I think Marvel's went way overboard with their budgets here lately. They've kind of just reached too far. They need to scale it down and get back to story. You know, that needs to be where they're at. They need to start telling good stories again. And there we go. It's just we'll see how it works out. I mean, time will tell. This thing comes out. It's right around the corner. Comes out in May, so it could be great. We've heard this before. You know, we heard that Captain America was just going to be awesome, and I'm not trying to build this thing up just to knock it right back down. I personally am super hyped for this movie. I think this is going to be the best movie, one of the better movies of the year. Do I think it's going to do gangbusters at the box office? Not really sure yet. It depends on how the word of mouth does. It's got the space. It's got about 3 weeks where it can, you know, if it is as good as the hype says it is, it's got room to just explode. And word of mouth just fly out and this thing just grow. It has the potential to be a box office smash. So if this one hits, that just sets up Fantastic Four perfectly. It comes in July, and we'll see. I mean, time will tell. One other thing I wanted to get into while we're on here, Andor news. I absolutely love this show. So from what I'm understanding, they're going to release 3 episodes at a time And those 3 episodes will be a year and a half. And basically, we're getting 4 movies. We're getting 4 movies here in the next few weeks. And that's incredible. And going off of the trailers and what we've seen from season 1, it looks like the stakes are just upped in this one. They set us up in the first one, and in this one, it's just they're going to take it to the next level. Now, I do have a story for this one. I apologize about the other one, but anyway, this is coming from comic book movie news as well. Says Andor isn't a typical Star Wars TV series. Yes, it may be a prequel to Rogue One, a Star Wars story, but it's arguably unlike any Star Wars project before it. However, a slow burn approach to storytelling and a greater focus on character drama and development combined to give us a truly phenomenal 12 episodes of television in 2022. While select fans were quick to laud Andor's superiority over the likes of The Mandalorian and The Book of Boba Fett, showrunner Tony Gilroy has admitted that the series, which helped launch Disney Plus in 2019, deserves much of the credit. Talking to Empire, he shared his belief that Andor will never happen again, adding, "Not because we're so great, but because no one's ever going to start a show on this scale again and shoot it practically and have the resources and the protection to do something like this." Kathy, of course, he's referring to Kathleen Kennedy, protected us. Lucasfilm protected us. Bob Iger protected us. The audience protected us. The Mandalorian protected us. We had all these people out there backing our play. Gilroy explained the success of The Mandalorian gave us the platform to jump off of. Their success is what would fuel the whole thing. I mean, no Baby Yoda, no Andor. Seriously. Don't think that we don't know that, he continued. Online, people try to drive a wedge all the time between us and Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, says Gilroy. It's horrible what people say. It's terrible. And the truth is, we don't have a show without them. They gave us the muscle to go. The original idea was that Andor would run for 5 seasons. However, those admittedly ambitious plans were scaled back, and the series will now end after the upcoming second batch of episodes. As for The Mandalorian, that's skipping streaming and heading to theaters next year with The Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And let's see, it says the second season of Andor takes place as the horizon of war draws near and Cassian becomes a key player in the Rebel Alliance. Everyone will be tested as the stakes rise. The betrayals, the sacrifices, and conflicting agendas will become profound. Rife with political intrigue and danger, the series is a prequel to Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which portrays a heroic band of rebels who steal the plans for the Empire's weapon of mass destruction, the Death Star, setting the stage for the events of the original 1977 film. Andor sets the clock back 5 years from the events of Rogue One to tell the story of the film's hero, Cassian Andor, and his transformation from a disinterested, cynical nobody into a rebel hero on his way to an epic destiny. And that's that. That just, well, I tell you, that builds the hype for me. I absolutely loved the first season of Andor. A lot of people thought it was a slow burn. 7:11 p.m. By the way, howdy. Okay. Checking out something I had swapped over. Crooked Painter. Let's see what we got. Wow, you put a lot in. I appreciate that. Let's see. Comic book movies are played out. Wait a minute. Marvel shot their wad. No hope for anything coming soon. Comic book movies are played out now. Laugh out loud. Everything since the Eternals has been Morbius levels bad. And furthermore, bring back RDJ was a cuck move. Howdy, by the way. 7:11 p.m. I'm not sure. Never caught and/or what is this? Huh. Hey man, I can't argue with any of that. That's your opinions, and I can't argue that. A lot of what Marvel's done, um, has it has not impressed. Um, there's been a few in there. I liked Guardians 3. I thought it was really good. Trying to think. There's not a whole lot of them. Mm, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. Even if you don't like Star Wars, if you're just jumping on to Star Wars for the first time, I highly suggest jumping on with season 1 of Andor first, and then kind of catching up with that. You can speed through it, and then watch season 2 of Andor when it drops, and then go right into Rogue One, and then watch the original trilogy: A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. When I go back and watch the rest of it, if you want to know some backstory on Darth Vader and see some cool shit like the beginning of the Clone Wars, yeah, go back. But I would start seriously. That's how I would do it. I would start with not Rogue One. Start with Andor season 1. Watch 2 as it releases, and then go on and watch Rogue One, and then jumping into the original trilogy. That's absolutely how I would watch Star Wars, or tell anybody to watch Star Wars for the first time, because that would be almost seamless. And then you could go back and enjoy the prequels and the sequels. I tell you, man, that was such a waste. I went back and I rewatched The Force Awakens the other day. There was so much that they could have done with that, and they just pissed it away. If they'd have had any kind of plan going into that series of movies, it could have been so great. And we never got to see the reunion of Han, Leia, and Luke on camera, which horrible. I mean, we were robbed of that. I'll tell you. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the show, drop a like. Crooked Painter, I appreciate your thoughts and comments. If y'all come up with any questions or anything that you want to add later on. Oh, one more thing. Need to go back and watch last week's episode with Fred Kennedy and Nick Marinkovich. They um, created Dead Romans for Image. The second arc of that is fixing to be released here in the next year. But highly recommend going back and watching that episode. Two absolutely incredible creators. A lot of fun. It's a great interview. I had a wonderful time talking with those two gentlemen. I loved what they brought to comics. If you haven't, I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't read Dead Romans, it's loosely based on historic events. Really cool. And if you like that time period, that era, you absolutely need to read those books. They have a trade paperback now, 6 issues rolled up into one, and there's going to be 6 more issues, and that should finish up that story. But who knows? That might not be the end of that story. But go back and watch last week's interview with them to learn so much more. They go into it, and I'm not so sure that this will be the end of Dead Romans. But anyway, guys, hope you have a blessed night. Thanks so much for tuning in. For your thoughts, your comments, hey, drop a like. Tell your friends to come on over and watch the show too. Really want to build this thing out. I'd love to get more of you guys in chat where we could just kick back and have a conversation about this thing. I really appreciate your comments, Crooked Painter. Completely. I can't argue your comments. I'm holding out hope there. I really am, because I love the MCU, and if these things don't do good, we might lose comic book movies again. And I don't want that. I like comic book movies. I love comics. So if they do well, we keep getting them. But anyway, you guys have a blessed night. Thanks for watching. And hey, we'll see you next week. Or we might see you before then. I might drop a live before the week's over with. So be sure and hit that notification button so you can get notified when the show's coming. Anyway, that's the show. You guys take it easy. Hey guys, you want to support the channel? Be sure and drop a like. Put those comments down in there. I'd love to talk with you guys. Like to make this a community. Other ways to support the channel, hey, go to my website at jerrycooleyart.com. That's www.jerrycooleyart.com. You can pick up my comics, t-shirts, prints, all kinds of stuff. Be sure and go on there and check that stuff out if you're interested in any of my work. You can also follow me on Instagram at JerryCooley77 and also at Blue Sky to see what I'm up to as far as comics. Hey, love to see you there. Jump on, give me a follow on all those socials. Thanks for watching the show. Till next time, you guys, have a blessed one.